Ciao everyone, we're live from Rome, Italy. I'm Molly. I'm sorry about my voice, I lost it, but I'm currently a junior at U of I studying journalism, and I'm abroad in Rome, Italy at the Gustolab Institute to study sustainability.
Ciao, I'm Lindsay. I'm from Manhattan Beach, California, and I'm also a junior at U of I, and I'm studying communications, and I'm taking classes at Gustolab studying food and sustainability.
Ciao, I'm Allie, and I'm from Shorewood, Illinois. I'm also a junior at Illinois, and I'm studying environmental sciences, which will fit in perfectly with our discussion today.
So we're here today to discuss how to make your study abroad experience more sustainable. Over the past 2 months, our program has taught us a lot about sustainability and food systems here in Italy. I'm going to discuss how we as students can support sustainable production and consumption. One of our focuses has been the slow food movement. The slow food movement, according to the Slow Food International website, is a global movement that was started in 1989 to preserve local food cultures and eating good, clean, and fair food. This movement counters the fast food movement that has taken over the world. Today, we visited 2 local farms in the Lazio region. Because we couldn't go live from the farms, that's why we have this backdrop of a beautiful Lazio region farm. But farms like this, they're helping to preserve local customs and grow their products organically. We've learned how each region of Italy has certain customs and its own diverse landscape. The slow food movement focuses on using these landscapes to produce certain products and keep everything locally grown and sourced. For example, in the Lazio region, which, like every region in Italy, it has its own agriculture and traditions. That means its own produce, meat, cheese, and pasta. By buying and eating products that follow these traditions, we can support sustainable production. There are plenty of ways we as students can be a part of this movement. By visiting farms like this, we can educate ourselves about the movement and purchase goods directly from farmers. There are also many grocery stores in the area and in Rome that sell organic and local products, like Natursi and Campo dei Fiori, or farmers markets that take place every weekend. These stores also help promote farmers by showcasing special products that they're focusing on, such as clean and fair tomato sauce with no add-ins, or fresh produce and cheeses. Although these products might be a little bit more expensive, they are a fair way to eat fresh, delicious food, which is also helping local farmers make a living. According to the UN, supporting sustainable production and consumption is Goal 12 of their Sustainable Development Goals. Supporting sustainable consumption and production is about promoting resource and energy efficiency, sustainable infrastructure, providing access to basic services, green and decent jobs, and a better quality of life for all. We can support this by shopping at stores that sell local products and visiting farms like the ones we have visited today to learn from experts. As students, we can also support businesses, politicians, and organizations that have pledged to follow the Sustainable Development Goals worldwide. We as young students have a voice, and it's up to us to speak about the things that we're passionate about. According to a UK-wide report from the University of Edinburgh, 80% of students believe that sustainable development should be more incorporated in their universities. Here at Gustolab, we're becoming better educated students about these issues, and we can bring it with us when we return home. By educating ourselves about the local food systems, we can be a part of the movement and live a more sustainable lifestyle.
So part of being sustainable is being aware of food waste. Food waste is a serious issue in the world. Nearly 1/3 of all the food in the globe is thrown out, which is equivalent to about $1 trillion. So in Italy, we have started to combat this major problem. In August of 2016, a law was passed to reduce the amount of food waste. The bill was backed by 181 senators, and with 2 against and 16 abstaining. The goal of the law was to reduce the 5 million tons of food waste a year by 1 million. This food waste is both by businesses and households is equivalent to about 12 billion euros or 13.4 billion US dollars. In Europe, general food waste is about 1/3 of the food supply, according to the UN Food and Agriculture Association, or the FAO. In class, we got to visit the headquarters of the FAO because it's located right here in Rome. With this new law, businesses have an easier time donating food that is past the sell date. There won't be any sanctions against them for giving away food that is past the sell date. We'll pay less waste tax and when they give away more food. In addition, farmers are now able to give away unsold produce to charities. According to the Renewable Matter, an international magazine on bioeconomy, organic waste is the main component of all urban waste collected in Italy. Italy's agricultural ministry will fund a 1 million euros to invent new ways to package foods so they won't spoil or rot as quick, and they'll have a longer shelf life. The campaign is also being used to run a campaign with the goal to reduce food waste as well. In many restaurants in Italy, it is considered taboo or against cultural norms to take away unfinished food in a to-go box. This is considered uncommon, but Italy is launching a 1 million euro campaign to normalize taking home leftovers and having less food wastage. As we study abroad in Italy, we should be able to contribute to their effort to push against food waste. While we grocery shop for the week, keep in mind if you are going somewhere over the weekend and if the food you purchase will be consumed before then or will stay good in the fridge while you are away. Not only are you wasting food, you are also wasting your money. Also, you should try to plan your meals before heading to the grocery store and make a list of the food you need. That way, there's less impulse buys, so less wasted food. While at the grocery store, always look up the expiration date of the food. Usually at the back of the shelf, there will be a later expiration date so it'll last longer. Even though it may seem like a little amount of money you're throwing away, it'll definitely add up. Also, we should get in the habit of taking home leftovers from restaurants here in Italy. Even the government is trying to normalize taking home leftovers and launched a 1 million euro campaign to promote this. So, we should just take home our leftovers, less wasted food, and probably another meal or snack for later.
One of the things that we've noticed citizens of Italy pride themselves on is the abundance of organic agricultural product that is grown in their own country. Unlike many of the other countries in the European Union, Italy does not have legislation in place as of 2015 when it comes to sustainability. However, they do have an economic incentive for farmers or businesses to prioritize sustainable produce. Italy has the largest area of organic cropland in the European Union, according to the Global Agricultural Information Network, which works closely with our very own USDA's Foreign Agricultural Services. During the 1990s, the organic sector in Italy showed one of the largest annual growth rates in Europe in terms of land under organic management. Since then, Italy's organic area has grown to around 1 million hectares, which, just to visualize, is about the size of 1 million football fields. 70% of agricultural land in Italy is cropland, either permanent or arable crops, and arable land refers to land that may not already have crops, but is suitable for farming in the future. Referring back to how sustainability criteria in Italy has not been defined. Recently, the Lombardy region of Italy allocated 4.5 million euros in favor of Lombard rice growers that apply sustainable farming techniques. The funding for this is to be used to encourage sustainable rice production, agricultural conservation, with the use of minimal tillage and direct sowing. A total of 44,000 hectares of rice have been set aside just for this project, and the grant comes from the Italian Ministry of Agriculture's Rural Development Program, which hopefully will continue to incentivize farmers and businesses to provide local and organic food. If there was no sustainable consumer demand, we would not have had the incredible farm visit that we previously mentioned today. The farms that we visited both practice agrotourism, and the way that agrotourism works is that, for example, on the first farm that we visited today, which manufactures cheese made from the cows, sheep, and goats on their farm, they are legally required to use at least 30% of the goods that they produce on their farm to give to their customers. The second farm that we visited is another great example of historical initiative for sustainable urban agriculture in our very own city of Rome. This particular farm has been active since the 1970s and has recovered public lands to promote sustainable land use in an urban setting. As we said, it's just inside of Rome's city bounds. The people occupying these abandoned public lands used this occupation as a form of protest, and the government took this as an opportunity to institute new jobs in the community and also utilize the environment. How does all of this impact us as study abroad students? As both Lindsay and Molly have already mentioned, our consumer decisions heavily impact the agricultural industry. If we want to be a part of a more sustainable community, we should put our money where our mouth is. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope that you learned a lot about sustainability abroad.
Ciao!